Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sayed Firdaus bin Saadullah. The topic of my final year project is factor affecting the intention of a cashless usage among university students. So, move to introduction of this research. Since this research focus on cashless payment, let I explain a little bit what is cashless payments. Cashless payment system is a way of making payment without use of physical cash with a gateway to technological advancement in the field of world economy. Based on T and Ong 2016, they said that cashless transactions is referred to an economic setting whereby goods and services are transacted without cash, either through electronic transfer or check payments. Other than that, according to Ali et al. 2019, cashless payment will advance smart nations what communities taught the use concerning cash as a mechanism of interchange for service and goods by authorizing non-digital payment means check or digital transfer payments. Look at the icon picture below. It shows the type of cashless payment that familiar with people, which is e-wallet, mobile banking, online banking, and also card payments. For the problem statement, which is the reason why I choose this topic for my research study. First, based on the study by Nielsen 2019, there are only small percentage of Malaysians refer to use cashless payment to pay for meal, groceries, and other everyday expenses. Besides that, Malaysians are still not sensitive to changing on fintech, which can allow them to use cashless payment system in their daily routines. Then, the effort of government that make the e-penjana incentive for youth in 2021 budget is one of the way to encourage the use of cashless payment among youth. The report from Laila 2018 said that several universities have launched the concept of cashless campus, which are in the line with the implementation of smart campuses recommended by the Minister of Higher Education. Other than that, report from Ahmad 2018 tell the Universiti Teknologi Malaysia (UTM) has introduced a cashless food court at Arcade Meranti. It can be seen from the university's efforts towards cashless campus that students can use the cashless payment system as their transaction in university everyday life. This make me want to explore students' acceptance of these cashless transactions if it is applied in all their transactions in UTM, such as in cafeterias or in grocery stores within the university. This is my research objective on what I want to achieve in conducting this study. Firstly, I would like to describe the level of awareness on cashless payment among university students, which I want to look on how far students aware and use the cashless payment in their campus. Secondly, I would like to identify the factors that influence the intention of using cashless payment system among university students. And for the third objective is I want to determine the relationship between the level of awareness and the intention to use cashless payment among university students. So the student that I focused for this study is student from Faculty of Built Environment and Surveying, Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. Based on the aspect with the technology acceptance model, TAM model, that has been researched through previous study, researchers have devised a model for this study. The model developed is applicable to research and also in the line with the TAM model. The figure on this slide show that the research model designed by the researcher. From the theoretical framework that proposed by me, the factor that chosen for this research study is perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, privacy and security, and also facilitating conditions. In this study, the intention to use cashless payment is the dependent variable that link in order to have estimating the actual usage of cashless payment, which it could lead to the attitude formations. In other words, the intention to use influence the actual use of cashless payments. Next, for methodology part, we'll view in terms of research design, population and sample, research instruments, and also data analysis. The method that used in this research is by quantitative research. It is because this research is done in survey method. Look on the population and sample. This research is focused on students from Faculty of Built Environment and Surveying in Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. And to be more specific, this study focused on students from second and third year only. And the sample size that targeted for this research is 200 respondents. This research used the questionnaire that have three parts to get the information from respondent. This questionnaire is distributed in Google Form and by online with the help from representative of each program. And for the data analysis is the part of transformation and interpretation of data for this research. The data analysis that used in this research is by reliability analysis is for the data of pilot test in the first stage to see the validity of questionnaire. Then also use the descriptive analysis and multiple regression analysis. This is the flow of data analysis in this research, which is reliability analysis, demography of respondent, descriptive analysis, multiple regression, and also hypothesis. So for the reliability analysis are to measure the validity, consistency, and accuracy of the variable. The data are collected by pilot test, which the value of crunch batch alpha is 0.885. That means the consistency is good and have a very high relationship. The demographics of respondent is commonly about or background of respondent. So for the descriptive analysis is used to analyze data from objective 1 and objective 2, while for the multiple regression are used for analyze the data from objective 3. The table in this slide show the demographic respondents. So for the gender, the female respondent is more than male, which have 128 people. That equal with 67.4% compared to male respondent, which have 62 people of respondent, which is 32.6%. For the age, the most respondents are from 21 until 22 years old categories, which had contributed 137 people, which is 137 total respondents, followed by the age 23 until 24 years old, which contribute 46 total respondents. As for the race of the respondents, the majority respondents are Malay, which consists 149 or 78.4% from the total respondents. Next, the majority of respondents that participate in this research are respondents from Bachelor of Science Geoinformatics and Bachelor of Science Property Management program, which had contributed 33 and 31 respondents respectively. Most of the respondents participate in this study were second year students, which have 119 respondents, equivalent to 62.6% of the total respondents. For the students from third year have 71 respondents who participate in this survey, which equivalent to 37.4% of the total number of respondents. The background of respondent monthly income was also shown in this slide. Most of the respondents are come from the categories of no income for monthly income, which have 159 respondents, equivalent with 83.7% total from total respondents. Next, for the preferred cashless payment method used by respondents, 143 respondents choose online banking as their preferable cashless payment method, while 111 of the respondents also choose debit card as a medium of cashless payment method, which consists 58.4% of total respondents. Next, e-wallet are preferred by 81 respondents as their cashless payment method. Last but not least, only 5 respondents, which consists 2.6% from total respondents, preferred to use credit card as their cashless payment method. This slide shows the data mean of dependent variable, which is also for objective 1, which is to describe the level of awareness on cashless payment among university students. From the table above, show that both of the variable has the high value for mean score, which are above 4.00. The intention to use cashless payment is at a high level with the total average mean value, which is 4.32. The score mean for actual usage of cashless payment also at the high level with the total average of mean is 4.07. Respondents were strongly agreed to the question in intention to use cashless payment variable. This can be proven with the mood score in intention to use cashless payment, which is 5. Next, respondents were agreed to the question in actual usage of cashless payment variable. This can be proven with the mood score recorded in actual usage mostly is 4. Next, this is the data of Objective 2, which is to identify the factors that influence the intention of using cashless payment system among university students. The table in this slide shows that the data of mean value for the factors that influencing the intention of using cashless payments. The factors that list out in this slide, which is perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, privacy and security, and also facilitating conditions. Three factors have mean value above 4.00, which is perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, and facilitating conditions. Meanwhile, one factor has below 4.00, which is factor of privacy and security. There are two factors that have highest mean score, namely perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, which have same mean score, which is 4.29. Perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use are the dominant factors in this study when it can be evidenced by the overall value of the highest mean score of 4.29. Move to the data from inferential analysis, which focus for Objective 3. The Objective 3 is to determine the relationship between the level of awareness and the intention to use cashless payment among university students. This table in this slide show the significant value of each factor toward first dependent variable, which is intention to use. Next, this table shows the significant value of each factor toward first dependent variable, which is actual usage. From the both tables show from previous slide stated that the factors of perceived usefulness are significant with both dependent variables. This can be proved when the significant value of factor perceived usefulness recorded in same value, which is 0.000, which have less than alpha values, which is 0.05. It shows that in this research, perceived usefulness have positive relationship between level of awareness in using cashless payment among university students. Next, for the hypothesis part, this show that only one hypothesis that was accepted, which is only first hypothesis is accepted, which have significant relationship. Move to discussion part. Discussion for Objective 1 is overall result showed that respondent had a high level of awareness on intention to use cashless payments. Intention to use recorded a value mean overall score of 4.32. For the actual usage, recorded the value mean overall score of 4.07. The high level of awareness among respondents are proven when they willing to use cashless payment for other utilities and billing payment in the future. Then, respondents also intend to use cashless payment whenever possible. Next, we move to the discussion for Objective 2. The factors of perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use have high level score with have same value, which is 4.29. It is parallel with research done by Kowang et al. 2020, which factors of perceived ease of use and perceived usefulness are scored high. Besides, research by Elizabeth and Guai in 2017 stated that the factors of perceived ease of use have scored as higher mean value, which is 4.19, after relative advantage factors, which is 4.36. Then, the research by Alstor 2016 revealed that the factors of perceived usefulness are scored relatively higher. Next, the discussion for objective 3. The factors that has significant is factor of perceived usefulness, which have standard beta value 0.535 and 0.672 and have more significant value than alpha value, which is 0.000. The research by Karim et al. 2020 mentioned that perceived usefulness have positive and significant relationship with the behavioral intention to use, with show the value of standard beta and t value, which is beta value is 0.308 and t value is 4.461. In addition, from the study by Berry and Jane 2018 was highlight the important role of perceived usefulness in positively influencing consumers' behavior intention to use mobile commerce. After run this research, there are several recommendations that suitable for management or organization and also for future researcher. For management and organization, they can do some program or campaign regarding the culture to use the cashless payment method among students and staff in universities. Besides that, they also can instruct the existing store in the campus area to add several payment methods such as by e-wallet, QR code, or by card in their store. Next is for future researcher. For future researcher, they can do the research with use the different analytical methods to see the differences in the measurements of awareness level and to be able to obtain more accurate and authentic information. Consequently, the other researcher could also expand the scope of the study that related to the cashless payment system. Before we go to the conclusion part, there are several limitations that faced by me during implement this study. Firstly, the researcher faced with the limitation in terms of limited internet network and limited access toward journal or article related with this study. Since of pandemic situation, it gives more pressure to researcher in access sources from internet and also individual meeting with supervisor due to limited internet network or data connections. Secondly, in the process in collecting the data, it also has difficulties for researcher to sufficient amount of data since the target respondent are from another faculty that unfamiliar with researcher. It took a long time for researcher to obtain sufficient. Last but not least, in this research also has the challenge of the time constraint, where researchers have the partially divide the commitment with the other subject. Moreover, other subjects also have their own tasks and assignment need to be submitted. Hence, the overlapping tasks had given pressure and shortened the time for researchers to focus on this type. So, for the conclusion of this research can be concluded that the dominant factor that influencing the intention to use cashless payment among university students is factors of perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. Besides that, the significant factors that positively have relationship between level of awareness and the intention to use cashless payment is the factors of perceived usefulness only. Last but not least, I hope that this study can help other researchers in providing some knowledge and information regarding to these topics. So that's all from me. Thank you.